Yo, what up, YouTube? What up, boxing fans? Alex Ariza, strength and conditioning coach of Manny Pacquiao, seemed bitter, but he was actually just being completely real about the knockout loss to Juan Manuel Marquez. You know, we're talking about one of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. There's no shame in losing to Juan Manuel. However, coming off 3 close controversial fights, it was shocking as hell to see these two guys go back and forth in a tremendous fight. But you know what? It seemed like Pacquiao was just trying to finish Juan Manuel off, and he got caught. He simply got caught, and I'm not. It would be interesting to see how Pacquiao would have done in the later rounds, because Alex Ariza revealed a few days ahead of the fight that he's been completely phased out of Pacquiao's training camp, that they were not doing a strength and conditioning program. So, for his post-fight comments, it's not surprising to say, he wasn't really surprised about Marquez's strength and power coming into this fight, because, he had a very strict and very strong strength and conditioning trainer and a strength and conditioning program, unlike Manny Pacquiao. So this is what Alex Ariza had to say. I don't understand how that should be shocking regarding Marquez's power. Marquez had a strength coach, an educated one with credentials, and that's what happens when you follow your guy's program. Manny Pacquiao didn't do anything. He revealed, we didn't do any of it. We really quit on our strength and conditioning program, mainly because of Freddie Roach, who really decided to work on boxing training strategy and not have Alex Ariza really be a main component of the training camp. And, it's a shame that Manny Pacquiao let Freddie Roach really take control of that, because as we know today, we live in a much more advanced technological society where, so much revolves around strength and conditioning in terms of athletes. Many high-quality elite athletes all have strength and conditioning coaches, a strength and conditioning program. The elite of elites all take advantage of, what these scientific nutritionists / strength trainers are doing these days, because, fighters will do whatever it takes to get a natural edge on their opponent. And Alex Ariza was not surprised about Marquez's power. It's not shocking to me. That's what happens for 3 months when you get up at 4:30 in the morning. You do your strength and conditioning, you eat right, you train right, you focus on that. And that's exactly what Marquez did. Alex Ariza went on, look at the way Marquez was lifting. The way he was training, short explosive bursts, 3, 4, 5 repetitions, and it's like I said, he's training to throw 4 or 5 hard shots, out and rest, His power punches matched Manny's power punches, and he was going toe to toe with Manny Pacquiao. Ariza admitted Marquez looked great. He said, I think after the knockdown, Pacquiao really pulled himself together. He started moving and then touching Marquez more and more, busting Marquez up. And, we visibly saw Marquez bleeding out of his nose. There was a cut on the bridge. It seemed like it was broken. Overall, Alex Ariza was happy with Pacquiao's performance. However, obviously bitter that he couldn't execute his strength and conditioning program. Alex Ariza admitted he doesn't see Manny Pacquiao retiring. He thinks there should be a rematch, much like Freddie Roach. But it seems like Manny Pacquiao's camp is just too complicated, Like we have Freddie Roach and Alex Ariza butting heads all the time. And, both of them are probably going to be arguing over Manny Pacquiao's time, who also has, commitments as a congressman, commitments to his wife, commitments to the church. Like, I don't know how much a future Manny Pacquiao has in boxing if he does not reshape his team and really dedicate himself to the sport. Considering the pre-fight comments, I was very concerned about Alex Ariza really revealing that he had not really worked with Manny Pacquiao on a strength and conditioning level, he was mainly just stretching out Manny Pacquiao throughout the training camp. And, you know, to know beforehand that Pacquiao isn't doing any strength and conditioning seemed like a big concern into, you know, one of his biggest fights against a Marquez that looks big and bulked up, really working on strength and conditioning. So that really shows you guys how important it is to have that plan set up at the elite level. And, you know, Alex Ariza seems to be right, you know. Overall, that's what it is. You know, I hate to say I told you so, but, you know, check out my prediction on the fight. I said Marquez would really box a clinic against Manny Pacquiao. I wasn't exactly right, but I did have him winning the fight, and I'm happy I didn't let the judges sway my decision. So, it is what it is, guys. Peace out, take care.